Hey everyone, what up? Matt Kaiser here. Now, it's been 2 years since the release of Tales of Arise.
It's been that long? Yes.
Yeah, I know, right? I couldn't believe it either. Now, you guys know that I love Tales of Arise. In fact, it's pretty much become, well, the game that has impacted both my life and this YouTube channel. And surprisingly enough, when initially told that this game was going to get like things like say a DLC, lo and behold, we got an expansion DLC that takes place after the events of the base game.
This must be the famed capitalism of humans.
Well, guess because it became the fastest selling Tales game, selling over 2 million units, as well as getting very great reviews, I guess they changed their minds. But I digress, and personally, I don't mind that it is at least an expansion DLC, and hopefully, it just stays that way. Please, nothing more. So this DLC is called Beyond the Dawn, and what it is a 20-hour epilogue, and funny enough, you can also get this game and the DLC together as a bundle of sorts. Not only that, but fun fact, this is actually the third expansion for a Tales game, with the first one being arguably an inspiration, the future arc from Tales of Grace's F, and the second one being Alicia's story from Tales of Systeria, which was something alright.
Get your damn head on straight, girl.
But, how is this DLC? Does it do a good job of wrapping up the story for Arise? What else does it expand? Well, that's what I'm here to find out. But before we begin, if you like what you've seen here, then by all means, like the video, click the subscribe button if you're new, and hit that bell notification icon if you want to get an update by all future JRPG content from yours truly. Not only that, but I'm also currently in the middle of playing Chrono Trigger, and hopefully by the end of this year I'll be able to do my 500 subscribers special, where I will review such a beloved JRPG that is Chrono Trigger itself, so please do look forward to that. And with that all said, let's grab our blazing sword and are ready to keep the flame alive once more as we head straight into Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn. So, minor little spoilers for Tales of Arise's main game, but Beyond the Dawn takes place a year after the main game's events, where Alphen, Xion, and the rest of the gang have ended the conflict, freed Xion's curse, and united both worlds of Dana and Rena into one. However, the gang reunites not only to fully unite both races into full harmony, but also discover and help a mysterious girl by the name of Nazamil, who is actually the daughter of both a Renan Lord and Danan, and has also had special powers similar to both Alphen's and Xion's, and is largely hated by both sides.
Horrible!
With that established, the team goes for one final journey in hope to create a new age for Danans and Renans to fully coexist in peace, and also aid Nazamil and start a new life for her. And that's the story, and I have to say, it's really good, and actually follows on the events of the base game very nicely, tackling to even some of the strong subject matter from the main game's first half, showing that even still, with both the worlds, reunited, both races still have inner conflicts, and some of those moments even remind me of, say, Tales of Xillia 2. In cases for the characters, they're great as they were before, in the cases of, say, Alphen in a sense, who's been now given a brand new arc, where he's not only looked upon by the Danans, but frowned upon by the Renans, as they see him nothing more than either a hero or destroyer. Xion, my beloved, now that her curse is gone, it has become more warmful and supportive, and honestly, it's very heartwarming to see. However, the real addition to the story is Nazamil herself, as well as a compelling story, given that she's the daughter of both two species, and that everyone else has looked down upon her, especially even her own father.
No, look at it!
As well as also being in a similar position to both Alphen and Xion with their roles. This has led to a horrible life for her, until she meets the gang who take her in and see her as a friend. It's only throughout the game where I did feel sympathy for Nazamil and really loved the character, portrayed beautifully by Ryan Bartley, who Sonic fans might know as Sage from Sonic Frontiers. Honestly, I absolutely just loved this story, and honestly, the ending itself made me emotional as much as the base game ever did. Arguably, I think even the story itself is stronger than the main game's second half. Though I did say in my review that it was at least carried by some strong character moments as well as a fantastic ending. Sure, it's not perfect, mind you, as there are some pacing issues where the story does take a bit of a breather to basically do some side activities, though in this context, I did not mind it at all. So yeah, overall, I really loved the story, and felt it was worthy enough to conclude Arise's tale. See what I did there?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Now when it comes to the gameplay itself, things are relatively the same.
What the fuck?
Now hold on, that's not entirely a bad thing per se, albeit depending on who you talk to, whether they like the battle system or not. Personally speaking, I love the combat in Tales of Arise, so having it to play again in this DLC was just a blast, though that still leads to both its strengths and weaknesses, unfortunately. But since it is the same as the main game, I'm not going to repeat myself on what the combat system really is. The only key differences to note is that you start around level 60, with most of your skills having to be unlocked again, which, not gonna lie, that was a little bit odd for my taste, and having to, go through the same tutorials felt a little bit intrusive, especially when I maxed out everyone in the main game itself. But aside from that, the only other gameplay change is the enhanced boost attacks, which you get by obtaining special items after beating character subquests, some of which can do very crazy damage and even stun enemies even more efficiently than before, and even look absolutely amazing. Heck, I even found crazy doing Colosseum fights and even some bosses. But aside from that, there's not much on the level of, say, Grace's F's future arcs, extra gameplay additions, or even among a lot of what JRPG DLCs normally bring. Which normally, that would sound disappointing, coupled to the fact that we still get things like reused enemies and bosses, which was arguably one of the weakest aspects to Arise's gameplay. Though, I'm not actually upset with reusing assets, as I think people have been over-exaggerating way too much about that, especially for a DLC.
No, he's got a point.
And to its defense, the marketing and advertising didn't say that the DLC would have crazy gameplay changes or additions, aside from those stronger boost attacks. Yeah, that's probably not the strongest argument I could have made, but what you gonna do? Looks like I'll need to get a lawyer on this case.
You're gonna need a really good lawyer.
Though, we do at least get some new dungeons, and it must be said that the new final dungeon, as well as the new bosses, albeit the few unique ones we actually get, are amazing. Especially the final boss, which is way better than the base game's one, both in story and execution.
That's good.
Though in my opinion that last phase of the main game's final boss still rocked. And it must be said that the new final dungeon is leagues better than the absolute mess which was the final dungeon of the base game.
That's good.
So yeah, if you're expecting some massive gameplay overhauls, then realistically you're gonna have to probably look somewhere else. But if you really still like Arise's combat, then honestly, it's still a blast to play. Moving on, we go to music, and honestly, there are a couple of new tracks in this DLC, some of which are great, and some that do blend in the background, but are still nice to listen to on their own, especially the new battle theme, which is absolutely amazing, and we also get a brand new theme song, and even we get some brand new arranged songs from the brand new music DLC. So, as always, have a listen. Lastly, we gotta talk about the content and what this DLC truly offers. Beyond the Dawn mainly offers a ton of side quests which mostly involve, the cast helping out lots of people from both races and also tying up some loose ends, as well as even following up from the base game side quests itself, including a sequel to the Pancakes one. But there are also brand new types of side quests, like the reconstruction ones, where doing these will help change the appearance of each town, which by the way look absolutely amazing, as well as they also give some great rewards. There are also the character quests, which offer more voice acting and even let the characters grow and see how far they come. And as stated before, doing these enhances your boost attacks to become much stronger. But we then get to the EX quests, which honestly are just so wholesome and worth doing, especially if you are invested with both Alphen and Xion. There are also some new Colosseum battles, mainly for the solo characters. But before I end this segment, I actually want to bring some little updates of what has also been new to Arise as well in general. Firstly, we have photo mode, which finally has been given after 2 years, and it's fine. Yeah, compared to other photo modes, it's very basic and lacking, but whatever, you are able to get some good shots in the game itself, and at least I don't have to see the HUD every time I take a good shot. On top of the photo mode, we also do have legacy costumes, which finally we are able to get, and you can also get them separately, and honestly, they absolutely look amazing. Loving Rimwell as Rita, which makes sense, and you can tell that Bamco really must have loved that one mod. We also have Law as Jude, which you can just, insert Jude Law joke here. Luger as Alphen, which is fitting, and honestly that makes sense, cause honestly that's what he initially reminded me of. Xion as Velvet, which, hoo boy. Then you have Jade as Doline, which is absolutely magnificent, and Kisara as Flynn, which is nice. Now please Bamco, give us Vesperia cameos in the next Tales game! Sorry, off topic here. Now completing this DLC, if you manage to do everything, will take you around 20 hours or more in a sense. And with that, is the Arise DLC worth it? Well, that is actually a tricky thing to say depending on your perspective. If you aren't a fan of Arise, then I'll doubt you enjoy this DLC. If you are expecting something crazy on the levels of say Xenoblade expansions like Torna and Future Redeemed, or even Tales of Grace's F's future arc with its gameplay tweaks, then realistically, you're gonna have to look somewhere else. But if you really love Arise and want to see the characters again for one last journey and to see on how the world has changed, then honestly, I say go for it. Though I do think that the price is a little much for $30 US or 45 Australian dollars here. If you want, you can wait for a sale, as basically what you get is just an epilogue with just more quests and only a few new battles in the Colosseum, as well as an amazing final dungeon and boss. And as well, wrapping up the story very nicely. Or hopefully nicely, completely, cause honestly please let the next Tales game be something new, honestly, and this is coming from a Arise fan itself. But, to be honest, I was actually left satisfied regardless with what I got from this DLC, as this DLC was mainly just to be an epilogue for Tales of Arise. Nothing more, nothing less. And while comparing to a lot of DLCs I played, especially even to this year, Xenoblade Future Redeemed is my favorite out of the bunch, though this one is a close second. And honestly, real talk, I would absolutely take Beyond the Dawn over something like Fell Xenologue from Fire Emblem Engage. God, I hate that DLC so much. And this is going to be a little bit biased, as initially I was going to give this DLC like 3.5 out of 5 Hootos, but honestly with everything it's done for the characters, especially with the ending and the amazing final, end game itself, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna give it, you know what, 4 Hutus out of 5. I don't care. I just love it so much. I honestly was happy to see my beloved characters once more for one last round. So honestly, I'm giving it. You can sue me for all you want.
Shame on you!
And with that, that concludes the review. So thank you guys so much for watching. So until then, see you guys in the next video. Mad Kaiser out.